Coastal erosion, which is tearing away the sea coast, has become a global phenomenon. It is rapidly escalating now due to the rise in sea levels caused by global warming. Many coastal cities, from Amsterdam to New Orleans to Venice, are in danger due to the rising sea levels. Today we bring you this personal story about the apartment block in France, which has become the latest target of coastal erosion. Take a look.
Le Signal apartment block sits on the edge of the French Atlantic coast. When it was built in the end of the 1960s, the beach was over 650 feet away. Today, the 80-flat building is just a stone's throw from the water. Local authorities are in the process of tearing it down before the sea totally swallows it up.
It's the disappearance of a monument for Soulac-sur-Mer. It was part of us, and there you go. It's gone. It was bound to end up that way with the ocean.
Soulac-sur-Mer has suffered some of the fastest coastal erosion in France. Beaches are disappearing at a rate of about 8 feet per year. In 2014, the local government made the decision to relocate the inhabitants of Le Signal. 90-year-old Jacqueline Gondouin was the last one to leave.
C'est quand même les souvenirs heureux qui resteront.
The happy memories will stay in my head.
Évidemment, d'être expulsé comme ça, ça...
Of course, the expulsion tarnishes things a bit, but I keep good memories.
Hein? Les couchers de soleil,
the sunsets, the day rising, a quiet cup of coffee on the balcony.
Ça gênait personne, hein? Voilà.
After the relocation of residents, authorities began the long process of expropriation and removing asbestos and utilities connections before starting demolition in February 2023. Privat, an official at French Coast Protection Agency Conservatoire du Littoral, said global warming was partly to blame.
On a un bâtiment qui est lié à la littoralisation.
This building is a result of the strong increase of human presence on the coasts during the second half of the 20th century, which are being threatened by the erosion, induced by the rising of sea levels and storms.
À l'érosion, aux tempêtes, qui se retrouvent menacées.
This threat made it impossible to keep living in this building unless tremendously expensive solutions were found.
Sauf à envisager des solutions de protection extrêmement chères.
Privat said the Le Signal building, which originally targeted vacationers, was a typical example of the extensive build-up of coastal areas in the second half of the 20th century, a time when urban planners had little regard for the fact that shorelines are dynamic and ever-changing. He estimates that some 50,000 residences are in zones that will require them to be moved by the end of the century.
C'est quelque chose qui est symbolique de ce qui pourrait se passer en cas d'impréparation.
This is a symbol of what could happen if we're unprepared and what could happen in other places. But more simply, this should be a lesson for us to tackle other cases and have plans for adaptation and preparation for the effects of climate change linked to erosion or flooding where possible.
Se préparer aux effets du changement climatique liés à l'érosion ou à la submersion lorsque c'est possible.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.